Okay. So good na. Now we go live. Live na. Okay, isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat mga kamat learners. Ito nga pala ang inyong abot kamay na math teacher, si Sir Ash. At today ay magde-discuss tayo tungkol sa isa na namang panibagong module na kung saan ang tinutukoy nito ay para sa ating mga grade 8 students. And this is the quarter 2 of the module 1 entitled The Linear Inequalities in Two Variables. Okay. Okay, medyo may Okay, let's try muna kung yeah. Sorry for the technical difficulties, my dear math learners. Okay na ba tayo dyan? Okay, I'm very sorry for the technical difficulties. Okay, from the top muna tayo. Okay, isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat mga ka-math learners. Ito nga pala ang inyong abot kamay na math teacher, isang YouTube edu creator, Math Teacher Ash. At today ay magde-discuss tayo tungkol sa panibagong grupo ng mga estudyante at ito ang mga grade 8 students, and we will be discussing the quarter 2 of the module 1, which is entitled The Linear Inequalities in Two Variables. So in this lesson, this module 1 that is provided by the Department of Education, we will discuss this from the first page up to the last page. Of course, hindi na natin isasali ang answer key. Alright. So hopefully you will be attentive for today, and if ever meron kayong mga questions sa ating discussion, you can put it in our chat box or comment section. So do not hesitate. Welcome na welcome kayo dito, and somehow we will be starting our discussion with this topic. Alright, so entitled natin is Linear Inequalities in Two Variables. So first page, yan ang makikita ninyo, the cover page, and then the second are the developers of the module, and the third is the title page again, and next is the introductory message to for the facilitator and for the learners. So of course, the top or the start of your learning will start in this let us learn part. Okay, so in this part you will learn what are the objectives of this module. So ano nga ba yung gustong ituro sa inyo ng module na ito? So first, we have to differentiate the linear inequalities in two variables from the linear inequalities or linear equations in two variables. So basically, pag-uusapan natin ano ang pagkakaiba ng isang linear inequality in two variables sa isang linear equation in two variables. So napakadali lang yan, my dear math learners. Maya-maya i-discuss ko kung ano yung pagkakaiba nila. Pangalawa is to illustrate and graph the linear inequalities in two variables. And then the third, we have to solve problems involving linear inequalities in two variables. And finally, we have to solve problems involving systems of linear inequalities in two variables. Alright. Okay, so let us go here to our first activity. So let us try. So here, meron kayong nakikitang isang box na maraming mga statements. So the aim here is to put this information or these statements to our table below, which is the linear equation and the not linear equation. So alin sa mga characteristics na ito ang nagpapakita na ito sila ay para sa linear equation at ang isa naman ay hindi para sa linear equation. Okay. So we have here the unique solution. So when we say unique solution, that is under linear equation. Many solutions, of course, hindi yan siya linear equation. Uses the equal symbol sa linear equation yan. Balance, linear equation pa rin yan. Not equal, that is not a linear equation. 4x plus 3y equals 10. Since gumagamit ito ng equals, so therefore that is in the linear equation. We have here x is greater than 2 plus y. Merong symbol na greater than. So that is not a linear equation. Uses greater than and less than as symbols. That is not a linear equation. 8x is not equal to 7. Of course, not a linear equation. Ito naman mga statements natin. 3 times the sum of 4 and x. 3 times the sum of 4 and x. So this is not a linear equation because wala siyang equals. The graph is always a solid line. That is a linear equation. The graph can be a broken line. That is not a linear equation. Boundary line, that could be a linear equation but since this is somehow talking about boundary, let's go deeper on that one. 5 greater than x is 27. So 5 greater than, dahil sa word na is, that is an equation. 7 is greater than. Ayan, 7 is greater than. So greater than ang focus dito. So that is not a linear equation. Finite solution, that is a linear equation. Infinite set of solution, that is not a linear equation. And finally, we have x minus y is less than or equal to 6. That is not a linear equation. So of course, when you go beyond to the paper or the module, you will see the answers here. So yung boundary line nandito sa not linear equation because basically that is a basis for the shading later on that you will be knowing about graphing linear inequalities. Okay, now continuation to this topic. Okay, so to review a bit about linear equation, always remember from the word itself, equation, it has the word or the root word equal, meaning the same. So meaning itong linear equation ay gumagamit ng equal sign. Pero pag sinabi na nating linear inequality, from the word in, meaning not. So unequal, not equal. Okay, so hindi gagamit ng equal sign. Yan ang pagkakaiba ng linear inequality sa linear equation. Alright. Okay, meron din tayo dito mga math dictionary. So, linear equation in two variables are this one. So, alam natin na sa linear equation of two variables, yung equation natin is expressed or denoted by ax plus by equals c. Ulitin ko, ax plus by equals c. Para sa equation yon, linear equation in two variables. Pero pagdating sa linear inequalities, you could have 4 forms, and those are the ax plus by is greater than c, ax plus by is less than c, ax plus by is greater than or equal to c, and ax plus by is less than or equal to c. So, because of this symbol, itong greater than, less than, greater than and equal to, and less than or equal to, it now denotes that the whole expression is not an equation, instead it is an inequality. And of course, it is two variables because gumagamit tayo ng x and y. Let me also emphasize para sa mga nanonood natin ng mga students na yung A, B at C ay yun sila ang ating mga constants or the coefficients. Alright. So mga numbers yan sila. Okay. And A and B are not both 0 para masabi natin na two variables talaga sila. Okay, systems of linear inequalities in two variables. So basically, these are just two or more linear inequalities that is being compared. Okay, kaya siya tinawag na systems of linear inequality. Katulad lamang ng systems of linear equation, two or more linear equation na pinag-compare. Okay, boundary line. Boundary line is the line that divides the coordinate plane into halves. One region is the solution set of the linear inequality and the other half is not. Okay, ito yung tinatawag natin na ito yung parang pagitan or ito yung basis. Kunwari, pag sinabi natin ito yung boundary line, okay? Pag ito yung boundary line, let's say, ang dito na part, ito yung sagot. So, therefore, lahat ng mga points, including that boundary line, as long as this is solid, okay, ay part ng solution ng linear inequalities na yon. Pero, ito namang hindi na shade, for example, it means that hindi yun siya part ng solution. Okay. Now, let us continue. Alright. Okay, let's continue. How about we go here to our explore. The gulay sa balay ni Kaloy. Okay, Kaloy needs to sell vegetables from his backyard garden. He harvested his lettuce and battle gourd or upo. Okay, meron tayong natutunan. Ang tawag ng upo ay battle gourd. Alright. The lettuce is worth 60 pesos per kilo and the battle gourd is equal to 10 pesos per kilo. He needs to raise at least 1,800 pesos in order to buy his sister an internet Wi-Fi for her online classes. Write an equation that shows the various ways he can sell his vegetables per kilo in order for him to achieve his goal. To help Kaloy in his goal, let us translate the problem into mathematical representation. Okay, so let X be the kilos of lettuce to be sold and let Y be the number of kilos of battle gourd to be sold. Okay, so we have the 60, of course, kasi 60 times X tayo because 60 pesos per kilo ang ating lettuce. So 60 times X because X represents our number of kilos plus 10 because 10 pesos yung battle gourd natin, 10 times Y is equal or greater than 1/8. Now, ang question ngayon, sir, bakit greater than or equal than 1/8? It's because ang goal nito is to raise at least. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng bumaba sa 1/8. Therefore, itong equation or itong expression na ito, itong expression na ito ay dapat mas malaki sa 1/8. Maging equal siya, good. Abot pa rin ang goal. Pero pag mas sumobra, yan. Yun ang ini-aim. Because, para maabot ang goal ni Kaloy. Okay. Pero pag bababa pa sa 1/8 ang lalabas, then, hindi niya maabot yung goal niya. Okay. So, therefore, our final linear inequality for this scenario is 60x plus 10y is greater than or equal to 1/8. This is an example of a linear inequality in two variables. Okay. So, the same kanina, to define linear inequality in two variables, it can be expressed into a linear equation except that we will not use the equal sign. Instead, we will be using the inequality symbols greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Okay. So, these are the symbols. So, paano yan siya basahin? So, ito is greater than. Ito naman is less than. Ito naman is greater than or equal to or is at least. O, kaya siya kanina ginamit natin ito na symbol because the term there is at least 1,800 pesos. And we also have here less than or equal to is at most. Okay. So, please remember that greater than is different from is greater than. Okay? Kanina, if you could still remember, merong term doon sa box na 7 greater than. Ayun. So, pag sinabing 7 greater than 2, that means 7 plus 2. Pero pag sinabing 7 is greater than 2, then 7 symbol na greater than and then 2. Okay, so yun ang pagkakaiba nila. Iba ang sa mathematics ng greater than at saka is greater than. Okay. So as you can see, ito na nga sinabi, greater than equivalent to plus symbol and is greater than is the inequality symbol. Alright. Same goes, it is also true in less than, which is minus, and is less than, which is the inequality symbol. Okay, so equation strictly uses the equal symbol, while the inequalities use either these four different symbols. Okay, so the solutions. How do we know the solutions to a linear inequality in two variables? So the solutions in a linear inequality in two variables are ordered pairs represented by x and y. Ito yon, okay? X and y. That satisfy the inequality. Meaning, kapag pinalit mo yung value ng x and y mo doon sa actual inequality or linear inequality in two variables mo, kapag nakalabas doon ay true statement, meaning tama ang final statement niya, then those are the solutions of that given. Okay, those are part of the solutions. However, if it is false, then hindi siya part ng solution na yun. Meaning, dito sa linear inequalities, maraming sagot, maraming solution ang pwedeng mangyari sa pagsusolve mo, because it will, as long as it satisfy your inequality, then that is considered an acceptable answer in this scenario. Okay, example, we have here, determine whether each pair is a solution of the inequality kanina. The 60x plus 10y is greater than or less than 180. So we have here the 7, 2, meaning 7 yung lettuce, 7 kilos ng lettuce, 2 kilos ng gourd. We also have here 30 kilograms of lettuce and 10 kilograms of bottle gourd, and we have here 30 for the lettuce and 0 for the bottle gourd. So the question is, which among these three can be an acceptable number of kilos that will make Kaloy achieve his goal? Okay, so example, if we have 7, 2, so we substitute the 7 to x and we substitute the 2 to y. So we have here 60 times 7 plus 10 times 2 is greater than or equal to 1,800. So we have 60 times 7, that is 420. 10 times 2, that is 20. So 420 plus 20, so that is 440. So is it, question, is 440 greater than or equal to 1,800? Okay, so this is a false statement. So therefore, letter A is not an answer. Okay, how about B? We have 30 and 10. So 60 times 30, that is 180. 10 times 10, that is 100. 180 plus 100, we have 1,900. Now, question is 1,900 greater than 1,800? Yes, that is true. So therefore, letter B, 3010, is considered to be a solution in this scenario. Okay. Okay, how about 30 and 0? So let us try. So we have 60 times 30 plus 10 times 0. So 60 times 30 is 1/8, and then 10 times 0 is 0. So 1/8 plus 0, that is 1,800. Is 1,800 greater than or equal to 1,800? Okay, it is still true because there is still with what we call the equal or equal. Okay, so as long as it can be equal to 1/8 or higher than 1/8, then that is a true solution for this scenario. Okay, so that is how you get the solution of our discussion, okay, or in linear inequalities. Now, what are the steps in graphing linear inequalities in two variables? Okay, so if you could still remember, we have already discussed this, or some of my videos in the grade 8, I have already discussed the how to graph the linear inequality, linear equations. Okay, linear equations. So how do we graph this one? Of course, kung paano mo ginagraph yung linear equation mo, ganun lang din ang paggamit dito. Pero ito ang pagkakaiba. Dito sa linear inequalities, may shading ka lang. Okay, example. So let me show you. Okay, wait ha. Okay, so let me show you this. I hope makita ninyo. Okay, so knowing that this is our Cartesian plane, tama? Example, this is our Cartesian plane, the x and the y-axis. Okay, so this is your origin, the 0, 0. Kapag linear equation ang ginagraph mo, technically, it could be increasing, decreasing, horizontal line or vertical line. So example, let us say the graph is increasing. Okay, so ito daw yung graph mo. Now, sa linear equation, kung ano yung mga points that represent this line, those are the solution for that linear equation, okay, of two variables. However, dito sa linear inequalities, this solid line, okay, magdedepende yan kung ito ba ay maging solid or magiging broken line. Okay? So that is two different scenarios. Solid siya kapag ang symbol ay greater than or equal to or less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Broken line naman kapag less than or greater than. Okay? So I hope that is clear, my dear math learners. Kung solid line, yung merong or equal to na inequality symbol. Pag broken line, wala siyang or equal na symbol, instead yung greater than or less than lang. Okay, now, is this the final answer for the inequalities? No. Why? Because in the linear inequalities of two variables, this will serve as the boundary line lang. Okay, this will serve as the boundary line. If it is solid, then all the points in that boundary line is part of the solution. If it is broken line, hindi kasali yung mga points sa linya na ito. Okay, sa solution ng inequality. Now, what you will do is, if ever you have already graphed the linear inequality, the next thing is to test kung saan ang shade mo. Okay? So, madali lang ito, my dear math learners. Normally, kapag ganito, pag nag-graph mo siya ng ganito, I always choose one ordered pair that belongs to the upper boundary and one ordered pair that belongs to the lower boundary. Kung saan doon ang mag-true statement, then yun ang magiging sagot niya. Okay? So, if ever I will use the 0, 0. If ever it satisfies the inequality, then I will shade all of the upper region. Pero kapag hindi, so therefore, dito na yan sa lower region. Ganun lang kadali. Okay, let's go back to the discussion in the module. Okay, so ito nga, sabi nga dito, graph the boundary line of the region by rewriting the linear equation as an equation and solve for the intercepts. Okay? So, pwede mong gamitin when we graph our linear equation sa Cartesian plane, ang ginagawa natin maraming paraan, tama? We could use the y is equal to mx plus b. We get the slope and the y-intercept. We can also use the intercept, the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and then you just connect them. And some others. Okay. Then, number 2. If the symbol of inequality is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, draw the boundary line as solid line. Yun yung sabi ko kanina. Okay? Kapag hindi naman, kapag greater than or less than lang, then you use the broken line. Okay. And then we have number 3, decide which half plane contains the solution set. Pick a test point. Okay, yun nga, pick a test point. Titingnan mo kung ano yun. So, normally, ang ginagamit talaga, normally, kapag hindi part si 0, 0 or hindi part ang origin sa boundary line, then you can use the 0, 0 as its test point. Kapag ang 0, 0 ay nakasatisfy sa inequality, then you shade it. But, otherwise, doon ka sa kabila mag-shade. Okay. If the resulting inequality is true, shade that side. Ayun nga. If the resulting inequality is false, then shade the other side. Okay. So, technically, sinasabi dito na you don't need to test 2 points, but you just need to test one side of a point. Okay, one side of the boundary. If it satisfies, then shade that boundary. If doesn't, shade the other part. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, we have here example number 2. Graph 3x minus y is less than 6. Okay, dahil is less than yan, of course, nakikita ninyo sa graph na broken line ang ginawa. Okay, so paano siya nag-graph ng ganito? Bakit nandyan sa 2, 0 at saka nandyan sa 0, 6? Of course, ang ginawa niya is sinolve niya muna ang mga intercept. So, ang ginawa is, ito si less than na symbol, ginawa mo ng equal. Okay? So, 3x minus y equals 6. Then, sinolve si x-intercept by putting 0 as your y. So, 3x minus 0 is equal to 6. So, magiging 3x is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 3 and you will have x is equal to 2. Meaning that the x-intercept, by the way, x-intercept is the intersection of the graph to the x-axis. So, this is your x-axis. This is your graph. So, when we say x is equal to 2, then doon ka sa 2 maglalagay ng dot at yun ang magiging intersection ng graph mo at saka yung x-axis. Then, natapos na siya sa x-axis, ngayon sa y naman. Paano makuha si y-intercept? Basically, ang gagawin lang is to change your x into 0. So, kaya nangyari dito, 3 times 0 minus y is equal to 6. So, 3 times 0 is 0. So, therefore, negative y na lang is equal to 6. And then, divide both sides by negative 1. So, therefore, naging y is equal to negative 6. Kaya, negative 6 ang nangyari dito. Therefore, this linear inequality is increasing. So, ito na yung graph mo ngayon. Okay? Ito na yung graph mo ngayon. So, ang question ngayon, this is your graph, broken line, nandito yung points mo. Ang tanong, saan ang magiging part ng solution mo? Did you answer the problem? Not yet, because you need to shade the solution. So, how do you test this one? So, ang gagawin mo, since our 0, 0 is in this part, pwede mong gamitin yan. Okay? So, you substitute 0, 0 to the value of x and y here, dito sa given mo. Now, if it is a true statement, mag-shade tayo dito. Kapag hindi, hindi naman. Okay, so, ngayon, ito na nga, nag-substitute na tayo ng 0, 0. So, we have 3 times 0 minus 0. So, 0 minus 0 is 0. Is 0 less than 6? Yes, that is true. 0 is less than 6. So, therefore, we will shade all the parts na part si 0. Okay, so, lahat ng nakashade dito, yan ay magiging solution ng ating linear inequality. Okay? Pero hindi kasali si boundary line. Nakuha ba? Okay. I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Alright. So, important reminder tayo. Since the boundary line is broken, that means all the points in the line are not part of the solution set. Okay. So, example number 2, meron na naman tayo dito. So, we have 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 6. Since this is greater than or equal, then we have a solid line. Okay? Solid boundary line. Now, of course, ganun pa rin ang scenario. Sinolve si x-intercept, ginamit ay 0 para kay y, sinolve si x, at si x ay naging 3. So, you put a dot here in the 3 in the x-axis. Okay. And then, for y, they solve for y. So, si x naman ang ginawang 0, sinolve si y. So, ang value na nakuha ay ito ha, y ito, my dear math learners, y, hindi ito x. Okay, just a correction. So, y is equal to 2. So, therefore, 2 naman dito ang ating y-intercept. Y-intercept is the intersection of the graph to the y-axis. Okay, so we have 2 here for the y, we have 3 here for the x. You make a solid line, and then now you will test the 0, 0. So, since nandito si 0, 0, so you will test that one. So, by testing 0, 0, then it gives us a false statement. Ito. So, 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0. So, 0 plus 0 is greater than or equal to 6. And that is not true. So, that is false. Therefore, hindi kasali si 0 sa sagot. So, otherwise na tayo, dito na tayo sa kabilang part mag-shade. Pero kung gusto mo talagang maka-check, pwede kang gumamit. So, maghanap ka dito ng mga points na pwede mong i-satisfy. So, ang ginawa dito is 4 and 1. So, saan ba makikita si 4 and 1? So, 4, 1. Okay, nandito yan banda. Ito yan. Okay? 4, 1. 4 si X, 1 si Y. So, 4, 1. Nandito na part. So, this is part of the upper region. So, try natin kung nakasatisfy ba. So, nang ginawa nila, 2 times 4, that is 8. 3 times 1, that is 3. So, 8 plus 3, that is 11. And 11 is greater than 6. So, therefore, since this is a true statement, we shaded the upper part. Alright? Napakagaling, my dear math learners. Okay, so now, we have another here. O, yun nga ang ginawa kanina sa Example number, yung ano natin, explore natin sa gulay sa balay ni Kaloy. Okay. So we already know this one. So therefore, ito nang ginraf ito ni ano, ng yung statement kanina, ito yung statement natin, 'di ba? Yung linear inequality. Ito yung expression natin. So, our linear inequality is 60x plus 10y is equal to 0. Sinolve niya ang x-intercept, sinolve niya ang y-intercept. So, we have 30 and 180. So, 30 dito at 180 naman doon. So, hindi na nakita sa graph, pero 180 yan dyan. Okay? So, 180 na part dito and 30 dito. So, since this is a greater than, since this is a greater than or equal, solid line tayo. Okay? Then, satisfy na lang tayo. Saan ba si 0, 0? Nandito. So, nang sinubstitute si 0, 0 sa inequality natin, so, ang lumabas ay false. Therefore, this part is not part of the solution. So, lahat ng nandito sa right side, yun ang magiging sagot. Kasali na dun ang mga points under the boundary line. Alright? Because it is a solid line. Alright. So, thank you so much. Now, we have here to look back the solution. Ito na yun kanina. The interpretation. So, we could have 30 kilos of lettuce and 10 kilos of battle gourd. So, true statement yun siya. Pwede din 40-60, true statement pa rin. Pwede din 30-90, true statement pa rin. So, any other points na makita nyo dito sa shaded region natin will satisfy the goal of Kaloy. Okay, now let us go to the systems or the system of linear inequalities into variables. Ito medyo konting challenge lang ito, but I'm sure if you have the strong foundation of knowing the linear equation into variables as well as the linear inequalities into variables, which is what we have just discussed right now, then huwag kayo mag-alala, magiging madali ang systems of linear inequalities na ito. Para ka lang nag-graph ng dalawa or mas higit pa na mga linear inequality sa iisang Cartesian plane. So parang dito gumawa ka ng isang graph sa isang linear inequality, another linear inequality. Pag pinagsama mo sila, kung saan tumama ang dalawang shade, yun na yung sagot. Okay, so ganun lang kadali, my dear math learners. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so ito dito. We have here the age problem. Okay. Jairus, person at the right. Ito yon, si Jairus. And Dave, person at the left. Ito yon. Age combined is no less than 2 more than Carlos. Person in the center. Okay. So, is no less than. Is not less than ito. The sum of their ages is greater than 64. Find the age of Carlo. Okay. So, paano ba yan? Okay. So, ganito lang, my dear math learners. Ang gagawin lang natin is let X be the age of Jairus and Dave combined. Kasi ang kino-compare dito is pinagsamang si age at si Dave at si Jairus. Okay. And then si Carlo naman yung isa pang pinagko-compare. Okay. So, ang unang sinabi is that pagsamahin ang age ni the sum of their ages is greater than 64. Okay? Kapag si Jairus kapag si Carlos at saka si Jairus at Dave ay pinagsama, yung sagot ay hindi aakyat sa 64. Okay? Ay mas sobra pa sa 64 pala. Greater than 64. So, ibig sabihin, more than 64 ang inand nila. Now, ang isa namang representation is that si Carlo, okay? Si Carlo at saka si Carlo, which is the Y, plus 2, yung i-add niya, mas malaki pa ang age ni Jairus at Dave combined. Okay? So, as you can see, the Jairus and Dave's combined is no less than 2 more than Carlos. Okay, so ito yan siya. So, ang pinagsamang age ni Jairus at Dave ay mas malaki pa ng 2, mas malaki pa kay Carlo kahit dagdagan mo ng 2 years. Okay, ganun yun. Alright. So, that is how you interpret this. So, now, the question is, find the age of Carlo. So, carry out the plan. So, ang gagawin mo is, we have the first inequality, 1. We have the second inequality, 2. Okay, so ito yon. X is greater than y plus 2 and x plus y is greater than 64. Okay, so ang gagawin mo ngayon is to change these two inequalities into a equation. So we have x, itong first equation, naging x is equal to y plus 2. Okay? So ngayon, itong y plus 2, gagamitan natin ito ng substitution. Ang aim dito is to solve the value of x and y. That will satisfy the two inequalities. So ngayon, is nilipat, ginawa siyang equals, and sinubstitute natin ang value na x, which is y plus 2, doon sa second equation natin. Okay? So, our second inequality is x plus y is greater than 64. So, nilipat natin, change natin ang x from the first inequality, and that is y plus 2. So, we have y plus 2 plus y. So, combining like terms, we have y plus 2. So, we have 2y. Tapos, we transpose our plus 2 on the other side or on the right side of the inequality, because siya lang ang excuse me, 2 lang ang isang number sa left side na walang variable. So since merong number na walang variable din sa right side, nilipat natin siya sa right side. So we have 64 minus 2. So we have 2y is greater than 62. So 64 minus 2 is 62. We divide both sides by 2. We have y is greater than 31. So y is greater than 31. What are the numbers greater than 31? So those are 32, 33, 34, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is the age of Carlo, no? Kasi si Carlo daw ang ano dito, pero greater than. So now let us solve for x for the sake of checking later. Okay, so we have here, try natin 31. So x plus 31 is greater than or greater than 64. So, going back or transposing our 31, we have x is greater than 64 minus 31, and 64 minus 31 is 33. So, x is greater than 33. Meaning, ang pinagsamang age ni Jairus at saka ni Dave ay mas malaki pa sa 33. Okay. So, paano na ngayon ito? Let us also try to graph the graphing method. Ito, graphing method, ganun pa rin ang style niya. Okay? So, they get the x-intercept, they got the 0 to our y. So, nasolve niya ang x is equal to 2, and then kinuha din ang y-intercept. Sa first inequality ito ha, so they have the 0, negative 2. And then for the inequality 2, kinuha din ang x-intercept, at kinuha din ang y-intercept. So, 64 and 64. So, ngayon, to test which half plane is the solution, let us use 0, 0 as our testing point. So, since we are using here, I'll just show this one ha. Ito na part. Since we are using greater than a symbol, therefore, we can have, we can only have two boundary lines na merong broken line. Okay? Two boundary lines na broken. So, broken line, broken line. Okay. So, to test daw, so ito yung isa, ito yung first na first inequality. Ito naman yung second inequality. Okay. So, to test whether saan doon na boundary ang solution ng problem na ito, so tinest nila ang 0, 0. So, as you can see, itong 0, 0 is not part of the boundary line. Tama? Okay. So, itong 0, 0, tinest nila. Pag test nila sa 0, 0, ang sagot sa inequality A, false. Ang sagot sa inequality B, false din. So, sorry, inequality 2, false din. So, therefore, para sa line na ito, hindi kasali ang shade na ito because it did not satisfy the 0, 0. So, doon siya nag-shade. Now, para naman sa line na ito, either ito siya lower and upper, tama? Since 0, 0 did not also satisfy, so therefore dito siya nag-shade. Now, merong shade 1 for this one, shade 2 for this 2. Pero merong part dito na tumama yung dalawang shades. Tama? And this part na tumama yung dalawang shade, ito na yung tinatawag natin na solution set ng isang system of linear inequalities. Okay? So, that is how we interpret this one. So, now, let us check if our obtained values of x and y satisfy the inequalities in our system. So, substitute x by any number greater than 31. Any number greater than 31. Okay? Sorry, any number greater than 33 pala. So, kasi kanina, yung nasolve natin, any number greater than 33 para kay x, any number greater than 31 para kay y. So, any number greater than x, so ang ginamit nila ay 33. 36 ang ginamit kasi greater than 33 is 36. Any number greater than 31, 32 ang ginamit. So, 36 and 32. Okay. So, nang tinry ang 36 and 32, so 36 is greater than 32 plus 2. So, ang lumabas, 36 is greater than 34. This is a correct statement for the inequality 1. Okay? And ito naman, kung itry natin sa inequality 2 natin, x plus y is greater than 64. So, pag i-add mo yan silang dalawa, ganun din. 66 is greater than 64. So, therefore, thus we can say na mas malaki pa rin talaga. Teka ha, let me just, this one, para mas makita ninyo. Okay? Nakakain na yan. Yan. Okay? Alright. Grabe talaga pag live do. Alright. Okay. So, yan. Okay. Sige. So, let us continue. So, now, that is how you get the answer. So, we can conclude now that the age of Carlos is at a minimum of 32. Bakit 32? Kasi si Y man si Carlos at sabi dito kay Y is greater than 31. So, magsisimula tayo kay 32 pataas. Okay. So, actually, kahit kung titingnan natin ang problem, ito ang tanong dito is find the age of Carlo. Excuse me. Find the age of Carlo. Dito pa lang na part, nakuha na natin ang y is greater than 31. We already answered the problem. But for the sake of knowing the solution of the system of linear inequalities, then we need to graph it, okay? And then we see the two things na anong tawag dyan? Yung parang I hope that testing. Hello, testing. Okay. I hope naririnig niyo pa ako, my dear math learners. Alright. So, let us continue. So, now dito naman ang let us practice. Okay, you just need to put some check or x here, okay? So, we have here 10 greater than x is 20. Okay. Greater than. So, you already know what does greater than and is greater than means. So, that is a linear equation. Y is less than. Oh, since because of this term is less than, then inequalities yan. Half plane is the solution set. Okay, half plane. So, ibig sabihin yung shaded region ito. Inequalities yan. Two sides of the statements are equal. In equal, from the word equal, of course, equation yan. The sum of is at least. Okay, because of that word, that is inequality. Then we also have here 8x minus 3y is less than or equal to 3, then that means, okay, so then that means, because of the symbol, inequality yan. Because of the symbol, inequality. Because of the symbol, equation. Because of the symbol, inequality. And solution is infinite. Ibig sabihin, marami. So, therefore, dito yan siya sa linear inequalities. Okay, at nasagot na ninyo agad ang activity 1. Okay, congratulations. Next, we go to yes or no. Okay. So, tell whether each ordered pair is a part of the solution set inequality. Yeah, write yes if it is, and no if it is not. Use a scratch paper for... Teka lang. Okay, medyo nawala yung internet natin. Okay, bumalik na ngayon. Okay, so paano natin masosolve itong equation? Okay, let's consider one equation lang. Point A, point B, at point C. Okay, I will give you the number 1 as the example. Okay, so let's try here. Erase muna tayo, my dear math learners, and I hope you have a wonderful time in learning math lessons. Okay. So, sabi nga dito is, ano ba to? Ang sabi dito, 5x minus 2y is less than 3. 5x minus 2y is less than 3. Okay. So, let us try. Yes or no lang ito ha. Pero let us just, of course, try negative 1, 1. Okay. So, negative 1, 1. We will try 1, negative 1. 1, negative 1. And we will also try 1, 1. Okay. So, these 3. So, of course, we will start here. So, that will become 5, negative 1, minus 2 times 1. Ito muna tayo ha. Alright. Is less than 3. So, we have negative 5 minus 2 is less than 3. Negative 5 minus 2, that is negative 7 is less than 3. Is negative 7 less than 3? Of course, yes. Okay. How about 1, negative 1? So, we have here 5 times 1 minus 2 times negative 1 is less than 3. So, we have 5. Negative 2 times negative 1, that is positive 2. Okay. So, 5 plus 2 is 7 is less than 3. Is 7 less than 3? Alright, that is wrong. That is false. So, that is no. How about 1, 1? Okay, so we have here 5 times 1 minus 2 times 1 is less than 3. So, we have 5 minus 2 is less than 3. So, this is 3 less than 3. Is 3 less than 3? Alright, no. So, therefore, that is still not part of the solution. So, therefore, in this point A, point B, and point C, the answer is only point A. Ang yes at no na point B. At ganun lang kadali. My dear math learners, ang gagawin nyo to know whether the answer for this one is yes or no. You just need to simplify the solution and check whether what ordered pair will satisfy your equation. Okay, ganun lang kadali. Now, let us continue. Let us practice some more. O, ito naman. Let us try our next activity. So, anong gagawin mo dito? So, graph each linear inequality. Compute the x and y intercept. So, ang gagawin mo lang is to compute the x-intercept, okay? And to compute the y-intercept. Okay. So, what is the solution? Oh, let us try to answer the first problem lang. So, x plus 2. Okay. So, let us try to answer x plus 2 is less than 4. Okay. X plus 2 is less than 2y pala yan. Is less than 4. Okay, x plus 2y is less than 4. Okay, so ang gagawin mo lang is to get the x-intercept. So, gagawin mo itong 0. So, y-intercept mo nang inuuna ko ha. And then, I will make this as equals muna ha. Okay, so therefore, this will become 2y divided 4. And then, we divide both sides by 2. So, y is equal to 2. Alright. So, therefore, if this is my graph, that is positive 2, 1, 2. So, I will put a dot here. Okay. How about x? So, I will make x plus 2 times 0 because in order to solve for x, I will make y as 0. Okay. Is equals to 4. So, this will become x is equal to 4. So, therefore, that is positive. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, it is here. And since this symbol is a less than symbol without the line below, which means equal, therefore, it is a broken line. So, I will make a broken line there. Okay. So, broken line tayo dyan. At yan na ang magiging graph natin. Now, the question is, saan ang shade? Okay. Saan tayo mag-shade? So, our 0, 0 is here, right? So, you can try to satisfy. So, this will become 0 plus 2 times 0 is less than 4. So, 0 plus 2 times 0, that is 0, is less than 4. Is 0 less than 4? Yes, that is true. So therefore, we will shade this region. Ganon lang kadali, my dear math learners. Alright. Okay? So hopefully you have learned how to do this one. Okay. So let us go to our next activity. We have here, solve this problem involving systems of linear equation. Follow the Polias steps in problem solving as discussed in the previous, yung kanina. Okay. So, bricks. Teka, parang ito na yata ang last. Okay. Wait lang. Okay, balik tayo, my dear math learners. Now, we have here, let us remember. O, teka lang. Try lang natin, ha? Okay. So, assessment na pala. So, itong assessment, of course, kayo nang sasagot niyan. Okay? ABCD lang po yan. So, that is the end of the discussion. But here, let us remember, ito yung kanina sa ano natin, sa math dictionary. Okay? And somehow, ito naman, sa activity 4. So, we have here, Bricks and his family have a family business of making tiny pots for both plantitos and plantitas. An order of no less than 160 pots of both designs, cube and cylindrical, from the Mr. Dagohi is accepted by the family. So, no less than 60 pots. So, therefore, is greater than 160 yan tayo. Okay, no less than. So, the cube design has a price tag of 70 pesos, while the cylindrical design has the amount of 50 pesos. So, Mr. Dagoy expects a price range of 9,500 to 13,000 pesos. Okay, how many pots of each design will the amount he expects be produced? Provide two possible combinations of the number of pots each design. Okay. Okay, so ganito, my dear math learners, ang gagawin mo lang is basically make less a part in which you will have two linear inequalities. So, yung first is yung x plus y is equal to 160, is greater than 160. Okay. So, you could make the first scenario of this one could be x plus y is greater than or equal to 160. Since because it says here is no less than 160 pots, so of course, if it is 160, it can be applicable. But if it is more than 160, it is also accepted. Kaya sinabi na no less than. Okay, no less than. It could be equal, but no less than. Okay? So, no less than. Hindi pala talaga. Hindi siya magsisettle ng equal. So, not less than pala to. So, not less than, meaning mas malaki talaga sa 160. Okay. Now, here, the cube design has a price tag of 70 pesos. So, if your x is the cube design, so that is 70x. Alright. And then, if it is, ano tawag nito? The cylindrical design, that is 50. So, 50y. Okay. And then, Mr. Dagoy expects a price range of around 9,500 to 13,000 pesos. Okay. So, this could be a price range, diba? So, you could have a greater than or equal to 9,500. Pwede ka rin gumawa ng less than or equal to 13,000 pesos. Okay. So, you can have three systems or three linear inequalities of two variables here. So, you can set this one, okay, these two, solve this one. you can also solve this too. That is why it says here, produce or provide two possible combinations of the number of paths of each design. So it could be this first is the first first combination, okay? At ito naman yung pangalawang combination. So the same concept pa rin, pwede mong isolve si x and y from here to here using the substitution method. So you could change this. This is your equation, inequality 1. So you could have x plus y is equal to 160. So x is equal to 160 minus y. Okay? You could have that one. And then you substitute it to here. You substitute it to here for the first possibility, for the first combination. And you can substitute it to here for the second possibility. And then you solve the y. The time that you solve the y, you substitute it to your x, and you will have your values x and y. I'm sure, I think this is this part is a lesson in which na gusto talaga ng mga teachers or gusto talaga na gumawa ng mga modules na mahasa talaga yung ano ninyo, way sa pag-solve ng ganitong klaseng problem. So I'm already giving you the parang blueprint kung paano siya i-solve. So, you could have the first two scenarios here. Okay, I'm sorry. Parang hindi yata nakita eh. Ay, sorry. Okay. So, ganito lang gagawin mo, my dear math learners. Okay? So, what you can do here is this one. Alright. So, by doing both, so, hindi ko pala nakita. Okay. So, from here, the 160 paths is less than, the order is less than, no less than 160 paths. So, therefore, if you have the cylindrical design and the cubic design, that is your x and your y. So, if you add them, both designs, it should be less than or greater than 160. Okay? So, mas malaki pa siya sa 160. Tapos, since tag 70 pesos yung price tag ng cube at tag 50 pesos naman yung price tag ng cylindrical design, so we have 70x plus 50y. Now, bakit ako merong dalawang value dito na 9,500 and the 13,000 pesos? Because another statement here says that Mr. Dagohoy expects a price range around 9,500 and 13,000 pesos. So, you have a 9,500 and a 13,000 pesos. Okay? So, what you will do here is you solve for the value of x and y that satisfies this equation or this inequality. So, ito na yung blueprint na binigay ko. I-continue nyo na lang. Tapos, after that, you graph it, kung saan sila tumama sa dalawang graph na yun, yun yung magiging possible scenarios na pwedeng tanggapin ni Mr. Dagohoy para sa ano ninyo. Okay, so ganun lang kadali, my dear math learners. So, I hope you have a wonderful time in our discussion for today. If you have some questions or inquiries about this discussion, you can always put it in our comment section below. So, always remember, ito naman, that the linear inequalities in two variables can be represented by the greater than, the less than, the greater than or equal, and the less than or equal. Then, the systems of linear equation, that is the use of two or more linear inequalities considered together. And then, the boundary line, that could be a solid line or a broken line. So, solid siya kapag ang symbol ay merong or equal to. Broken siya kapag walang or equal to. Yung ano lang talaga, greater than or less than. Tapos solutions naman, ito yung mga boundary or the ordered pairs that will satisfy or give a true statement in the given. And the symbols, of course, of the linear inequalities, ito na yung apat. Okay, so let us assess. So I'm sure you can answer now this problem after we have discussed right now. ABCD lang po ito. So, if you do have some problems about this one, feel free to put it in our comment section below. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful time, my dear math learners. Meron din tayong ano dito, no? Reflection. Okay? So, my dear math learners, this is still your free access YouTube educator, Math Teacher Ash. Kung meron kayong mga tanong sa mga problems natin or mga discussions natin, you could put or you could comment your, lalong-lalo na sa mga estudyante natin na gustong try natin i-discuss live yung ano natin, yung mayroon silang mga problems in terms of mathematics, pwede natin i-discuss dito ng live. Okay? So, hopefully, you have a wonderful time. And always remember, it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. Kapag bago ka pa dito sa ating channel, hope you click the subscribe button and also click that notification bell. And dagdag nyo na lang din, pakiclick naman yung like para at least mas marami pang maabot ang channel natin, lalong-lalo na sa mga students na nahihirapan sa mathematics. Take care, God bless, and keep safe always.